What's going on, guys? RandomEd787 here. So, with the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out very soon, I want to go over something that I've been thinking about lately. And that's the Nintendo Switch 2, I think, is in a very unique position right now. Now, while I mostly play on PC, I still do love consoles. But let's face it, this current generation, and I know most of you have heard this argument already, but it still reigns true. And that's this current generation, if you can even call it that, has been nothing short of a joke. And I've been playing consoles since the Super Nintendo, and I'm 34 years old, so I've seen the amazing evolution of video games. But seriously, where the hell are the freaking games? In my personal opinion, and I think a lot of people have a similar one, but there is really not one defining game this generation. Sure, we may have had some good games here and there, but let's compare it to the last generation. Last gen, we had games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Marvel's Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Uncharted 4, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Battlefield 1, God of War, and so much more. Notice how I didn't have any Xbox titles in there? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. But I'll give them some brownie points for the Forza Horizon games. Those are actually really good. And I know we've had games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Astrobot, and while I think those are good games, I don't really think they're generation-defining. So here's why I think Nintendo is in a unique situation. We're about halfway through the life cycle of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and Nintendo is starting their next-gen console right in between. And they were in the same situation with the original Switch, but the only difference is, we had a good chunk of games on the PS4 and Xbox One back then. We don't have that with this current generation. Nintendo is literally starting a new chapter and can seriously fill this huge void a lot of us are feeling right now. Now, if you're on PC like I am, the void isn't quite as big. But if you play exclusively on console, then there's definitely a chance you're probably going to desire a lot more. This is helped a little by the fact that current-gen consoles are mostly backwards compatible with nearly all last-gen games, but that can only hold you off for so long. You're gonna eventually need some new games at some point. Now, here's a unique thing about Nintendo, and that there's a certain trend that they don't follow in the gaming industry these days, and that's all these games trying to have the most realistic graphics with the best ray tracing technology and these so-called immersive open worlds. And then you got Nintendo over here like, we just want to make something fun. So here's the problem with making so many games with these realistic graphics and open worlds. They take insanely long to make and cost tons of money. Now, I personally have nothing against realistic open world games. For example, Red Dead Redemption 2 is debatably my favorite game of all time. It's just pure meditation to walk through that world and soak in the countryside. But when the majority of games aim for only that, yeah, you're going to have a pretty big gap between releases. What Nintendo focuses on with graphics is art style. And sometimes a unique art style can be far more pleasing to the eye rather than something that's quote-unquote realistic looking. And this can also save on development time and cost. Now, I know some of you might say that we haven't gotten sequels to games like Mario Kart and a new 3D Mario, and that may put a slight dent in my argument, but when it comes to Mario Kart, I personally believe Nintendo just got greedy and tried milking the game instead of making a new one. We could have easily gotten a new Mario Kart game for the Switch. As for a new 3D Mario, I think they were prototyping with Bowser's Fury to try and make an open world Mario game, so they're most likely really taking their time on this to get it right. I'm sure Nintendo is exploring new opportunities with technology and that some of their games will probably take a little bit longer to make, but it seems it won't be nearly as long as most of these AAA games. Now, I don't know how long Nintendo has been cooking up a lot of games for the Switch 2, but if they have a good chunk of stuff in the oven, like the new Mario Kart, Metroid Prime 4, and possibly a new 3D Mario coming out this year, we could be looking at one of the best console launches in a very long time. And who knows what else they have in the pipeline. They're literally just getting started. Now, I don't think it'll put a dent in PS5 sales, and I'm not mentioning the Xbox because it's basically dead. I do think it'll breathe some much-needed life into this very depressing industry lately. Isn't it weird that it comes down to Nintendo sometimes to give the industry hope again? Thank goodness we have them. And then there's the fact that there's third-party support. And although the original Switch had a lot of third-party games that were sometimes a significant downgrade compared to their PS4 and Xbox counterparts, it still appealed to many people because of the AAA games on the go concept. Now with the Switch 2 being far more powerful, that'll mean far more games coming out for the system and potentially being of higher quality. And with the rise of handheld PCs becoming more popular, it could make the Switch 2 an interesting buy. But it also means Nintendo may have more competition than they did previously. So those are my thoughts on the Switch 2 and its unique opportunity. But that means nothing at the end of the day if Nintendo doesn't execute this correctly. They need a great first-party and third-party lineup of games, and also a vastly improved online ecosystem. I'm sure there's more stuff they may need to take advantage of this opportunity, but let me know in the comments below what you think Nintendo has to do, and do you agree or disagree with me on the Nintendo Switch 2 being in a unique position? Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And until the next video, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace out.